The Chief Executive Officer of financial derivative company Bismarck Rewane has said that Nigeria may suffer a gross domestic product loss of $18 million monthly owing to the negative effect of the naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Rewane spoke during a recent presentation at the Lagos Business School, according to a report by the Cable. He said man-hours lost in a month will be 120 hours and total GDP loss in a month will be $18 million, adding to the decline in the GDP growth to the reduction in velocity of money in circulation. Ex-depot price of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, has risen by 110% in 4 months, according to findings. The data showed that the ex-depot price rose from 140 per liter last month to an average of 312 naira per liter on February 3 this year. As the sole importer of petroleum product, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has set the price which product can be sold to oil marketers at depot in 148 naira per liter. However, the scarcity has seen prices hit an average of 312 naira per liter within the space of 4 months, according to the latest industry data report published by the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria. While the hike was witnessed at the depot, pump prices had also jumped from 179 naira to 180 naira per liter to as high as 500 naira per liter, depending on the location. According to the data, the least average ex-depot price of petrol within the period under review was 303 naira per liter. It noted that 303 naira per liter was recorded at a Papa depot, while 305 naira per liter was recorded at a Bafo depot. A proposal for the creation of new agency to monitor and evaluate federal government projects by the National Institution of Peace and Strategic Studies has been rejected by the federal government. These came as the federal government frowned at the duplication of roles, saying too many agencies were pursuing the same task. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, argued this at the opening session of the dialogue on the National Monitoring and Evaluation Policy and Women's Economic Empowerment at the State House, Abuja. She was responding to the earlier remark by Professor Dong Pam Shang, who represented the Director General of the NIPSS, Kuru, Plateau State, Professor Don Pashan. The entrepreneurship stakeholders have employed the federal government to hasten the payment of compensation for taking over a business premise at Kashin, Abuja. Making this appeal on Monday, the chairman of the mining stakeholders, Aminu Sani Inuwu, disclosed that the expanse of land in question is a business premise inhabited by a quarry company was taken over by the federal government for the construction of an oral modern correctional service facility. He said the quarry, which poses a 0.8 kilometer square property, is one of the best when it comes to its modern technological and computerized sophistication. Inowu noted the quarry can produce 2,500 tons of granite, boulders and dust. He said the federal government took over the property after a month of quarry operations. The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, on Monday said that the state governor are not ready to end open defecation in their state, despite effort by the federal government to halt the menace. Adamu, who spoke in Abuja, the second national retreat for states on the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign said aside from Jigawa State, no other state in Nigeria had attained the open defecation-free status. This, he said, was why the federal government kept reviewing the situation from time to time in order to ginger the states to act accordingly. The minister, however, noted that aside from the political will of the state governors, citizens in Nigeria should also take the campaign against open defecation seriously. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has said that there was no need to shift the February 10, 2023 deadline. He said this during a visit on Tuesday to Minister of Foreign Affairs to discuss the monetary and currency redesign policy of the bank. He said the situation is substantially calming down since the commencement of the over-the-counter payments to complement ATM disbursement and the use of super agents. This comes as the Supreme Court earlier restrained the federal government from implementing the February 12 deadline for the currency swap. A seven-man panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice John Okoro, in a unanimous ruling, granted an interim injunction restraining the federal government, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and commercial banks from implementing the Friday terminal date for the old naira notes. However, the central bank governor insisted that there was no need to shift the deadline. He also said that the point of sales agents who charge above 200 naira for cash swap will be arrested and jailed when caught. The CBN governor further said that the POS operators can come to the CBN to be compensated for any extra cost incurred in getting a new note rather than charging a higher fee on customers. The Nigerian Data Protection Bureau has said that this is presently investigating over 110 companies in Nigeria over allegations of data breach. This was disclosed on Monday by the National Commissioner of NDPP, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, in Lagos. He said the companies being investigated included banks, telecommunication firms, gaming companies, and online lending companies. We are investigating over 110 data controllers and data processors for various degrees of data privacy and protection breaches. The most worrisome are those in the financial, telecom, gaming, and online lending industries, he said. Speaking on the effort of the Bureau in providing maximum protection of Nigerians' data in line with the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation, the National Commissioner said, when you factor in the lack of due diligence on the part of data controllers in engaging data processors or vendors that have access to the personal data of customers, you find in some cases abuse and violation of the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation and the NDPR and Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution. Olatunji noted that the Nigerian police force is presently working with the Bureau on this matter. Still to come, Adani India watchdog probing Hindenburg fraud allegation. Details and more news updates after this commercial break.